All right. Welcome everyone to another class where we can always with a short meditation and then we'll go on to the topic for today. All right. Once again, let's bring our mind back to ourselves by telling the mind to be here, be with yourself, your body. Or we can simply just take a deep breath. Notice that when there's a strong sensation, our mind transition to it naturally and cling on to it just like that. And with our deep breath, we can exhale to then, with the intention to release everything from our body and our mind. So as we exhale, imagine dropping, letting go of everything, every tension from every nooks and cranny of the body. We can start off with our face, from the top of our head to our forehead, our eyebrows, our eyes, our nose, mouth, cheeks, and ears. Turning your face to be a enjoyable place for the mind to rest on. Relax them and replace the tension by placing a smile on your face. A gentle smile that, if you notice, does have an effect on your mind. We move down to our shoulders. Release and let go once again. Down to our arms and our hands, to the tips of our fingers, finding them a place to rest, to be at, wherever they are comfortable at the moment. Releasing the tension from our chest, from our back, down to our stomach, lower back, and our waist. Release every tension, every toxic, harmful thing, unpleasantry in your upper body. Just let go and observe as wonderful things replace and fill the void left behind by the tension. Those are peace, calmness, happiness that arises naturally, replacing attention. We move down to our glutes, our thighs, calf, our feet to the tips of our toes. Find a suitable place for those muscles so that your body can be your base camp, your foundation, your footing to help aid you in this practice. We imagine our body hollow. Our body are now free as we throw away the sensation of all the organs. Imagine your body like hollow, empty. Throw away the heaviness, the burden, and feel light and soft. Nothing but the edge of your skin, or even better, no more sensation of the body. You are free, you are light, no longer bound or shackled. We will next move to the mind to make sure that we have let go, drop, let go, and throw everything away. All of the stories, the conversation, the planning with yourself or other people. Throw them away, disregard them. No longer putting any weight to any of those things. Of every stories regarding your friend, your family, your work, your study, your travels, personal life, politics, environment, every single thing, just let it go. You are now free from your responsibilities, free from your obligation, as if you are the only person remaining on this planet. No one to tend to, no task to accomplish. You're truly free, like a kid who doesn't have to worry about anything in their life. Now we bring our mind back to ourselves and place them gently with our object. And imagine your object is a place where all the wonderful and beautiful things are held. You're bringing your mind to a peaceful, wonderful, beautiful place and allow the mind to seek refuge in those places. It can be the center of our body, can be our chest, our nose, our breath, or in our words, like mantra, kind words, or in our visualization. Let's place our mind in a positive environment where when they are here, they are safe, they are looked after, because you are the one who is looking over them, after them, nurturing them with care, with attention, not letting your sight be away from them even for a single moment. So place your mind not only with your object, but also clearly aware of your status, the status of your body, of your mind. These are your foundation, your bedding, your base camp that is the key to success. And so from this wonderful place, empty mind, empty body, we will observe our object without any comment, without any judgment, any reaction or interaction. Just observe them as they are. We are not fighting to make progress. We are not pushing for something that requires time for it to come to fruition naturally by themselves. Only then will we know and learn about the state of peace. Because peace is a state without conflict, without fighting, without force or push, a state of non-violence, non-confrontation, still and doing nothing. For that we are no longer fighting, pushing, judging, or desiring. Only then can we start to take rest in this peaceful state. And whenever we are ready, we can gently open up our eyes. All right. Welcome everyone to the class. Uh, I think today Carmen said that the class will be about building and nurturing positive changes in our life. A, uh, a nice topic. Um, where it is I would say a good add-on to what we talked about yesterday too, like an extra class, I guess. Mm. Because it also add on to the importance of the teaching of instinct. I think we have to add on a lot of example and application so that we can give it weight to the importance and how we can apply this to many areas in our life. Mm, you know, um, around the world, there are many who seek to find inspiration, motivation, uh, for them to move forward in their life. I think some of you guys here are also in that camp too. Mm, the reason that we have to learn and know about instinct is because it is only for those who want change in their life. It's a tool to use. For that change only happen if if there will only be change in the result when there is a change in the pattern. But if one still repeat the same action behavior, one cannot expect a change in the outcome. A repeat in behavior, repeated action, it's just repeat of the same old thought, the same old emotion, and the same old habit that comes up. By learning about instinct, we learn about the thought and emotion that pushes and control how we act, all come from a place where, all come from a place where we call the mind. Uh, where the key point of that is the fact that we did not think of those thoughts, yet we follow through, like it is our own. People say that habit is a repeated action. By Buddhism, we say that habit is repeated acceptance of the emotion and thought that arises. You have accepted them so much that it become natural to you. And at 6 p.m., if you have a routine, then once 6 p.m. comes around, it's like there's this program that ignite inside you. Just go on. Oh, here you go again. Now 6 p.m. I have my own uh for some people, chanting routine, evening chanting. For some people, Zoom, just like here, hi. For some people, it's their thing, that thing, but they have to accept them. That just become so natural. Uh, mm. Now, as they keep on doing the same, so and so, the outcome will also be the same too. Now, change only happen when there's choice, when you can make that decision. And that's why the importance of watching your thought, not only when you meditate, but throughout the day, is vital for that choice only come when you stop and decide. Whereas before, you never stop and you decide on everything that comes up. Like from the salesman that inside of you that try to sell things to you. And and this teaching leads to a different another thing, lead to the outcome. The desired outcome, meaning reward of doing, of choosing the right thing to do. So this is where we will begin our class today about what Carmen said. It's a bit building energy and positive change in our life. It's a generic topic, but it's something that we kind of it's like we kind of have a feeling that we know because many books talks about it, but the details of which is quite scarce and a bit unclear. So that's the point of today's class, to make that clear. Mm. Motivation as inspiration. When you see you undergoing your life project, be it work, be it for other people or for yourself. And the life project, that project, for you to go through the finish line, you must have enough fire, a passion burning, and a motivation to move forward. If you get burned out, now that's meaning the fire extinguishes, or you get there's no more fuel in the tank, then the process stops. It doesn't complete the program. Uh, and and you keep doing it, and the reason you start this project to begin with is for an outcome, a result, a reward at the end that aspire you in the beginning, maybe inspire you. Dreaming about being a doctor one day, you see a life flashing in front of you that you can have so many people. That dream, that thought, that emotion, as as you dwindle and think about it, contemplate about it, become those vision that you see become a sort of inspiration for you. You can see those vision in your mind of how your life will plan out, or you see the vision in other people, the life that is already planned out in front of you. And as those vision plays in your mind again and again from thought and uh, from thought, you have now have motivation to then move forward, to put yourself through school, through study, through hardship, through a program, basically a journey of your own for that result. But now the question is, where did those inspiration and motivation come from, and what is the mechanism behind it? Or else then our life, or else then our life, uh, both we find ourselves stagnant, even if we think that we are already, better off or well off compared to other people. But it's the mere fact that we are not moving forward, signify that we are in a wrong system, not a bad one. There's no progress. Mm. Me, maybe we all have heard before from maybe life coaches or inspiration speaker or different monasteries say that attitude, now your attitude play a big role in your life. Maybe saying from our parents, have a nice attitude, good attitude toward things. Let's talk about that attitude. It is something that many people seem to put so little weight on, but yet it is something integral part of the chain, integral part to ignite inspiration and motivation. Uh, the same motivation and inspiration and motivation that will help you conduct your life in a ways that will lead you to an outcome that you want. I look up today in Oxford Dictionary what is attitude. DTUTE. I'm gonna read out to you guys. Okay. Attitude. Ahem. Noun. Okay, gonna make it simple. All right. I'm gonna put my mic to my desk. Okay. All right, guys. This is the um meaning of attitude. A settled way of thinking or feeling about something. That is it. So attitude by Oxford, it means a settled settled way of thinking or feeling about something. It speaks a lot. That short meaning have weight if we know and understand what we have just read or heard. A settled way of thinking. We know that your attitude, if you talk about laymanism, is how you approach things, how you look at people, how you look at things, how you look at the stories, the event around you. Uh, And then it is the world that you see. Let's say, for example, I have a bad attitude towards Sophie. I'm going to be grumpy here. And so therefore, all her or her uh, charming and wonderful qualities become something that I say, man, yeah, she's very, can turn all the great thing into something bad thing, right? I have bad attitude towards her, so I cannot see anything good to her, right? But if I have good attitude towards Zoe, I say, hey, she has, I can see all the good quality inside her too. So it's a subtle way of thinking. But the question is, those way of thinking, where they come from? Uh, Last two class we talk about thought is not our own, and how it is dotted throughout, all over, dotted, or is in our everyday life. If we did complete the challenge that we talked about yesterday, listening to the thought, and also emotion too. uh, you can see that these thought and emotion sprinkle through, they come up by itself when we perceive something in our life. Uh, It is those attitude that then makes or break your chance to move forward. Mm. Let me give you one example. Let's say I am a businessman. Okay, not wrong. Let's say I'm a businessman who wants to create opportunity by selling, this case, phone case. If my attitude towards it is like, oh, look at this grimy, little plastic, I can't do anything much, then I wouldn't be able to, do anything much about it. But if I have a right attitude, meaning I'm under the influence of my good instinct, the right thought, emotion, and say, hey, when I look at this thing and have a right attitude towards it, I say, wow, this is $1 million product. Why? Because when you look at this thing with the right attitude, you are able to see, there will be thought, like you have to see the beauty in that thing and how is it that you can make benefit out of that thing. It's like seeing an opportunity inside. It's like seeing an opportunity. Seeing an opportunity. If we didn't take the time to reflect on this, it's like seeing a vision. When you see an opportunity, you see a vision, a future self, a future outcome. A future outcome that comes up by itself. A future outcome that comes up by itself. That to inspire you to get yourself involved in a thing uh in that particular subject or topic. I see a monk, for example, or a man who can smile even though there are people shouting at him. And you see, wow. By seeing that and having the right attitude towards that, a settled way of thinking toward what you see, you are inspired and see that, wow, maybe I want to be like that guy or that girl who stand tall even though people are parading them right at their face. And you see yourself being like them, a a vision in the future. You see that vision, and that vision is what inspire you to maybe talk to the guy and say, hey, what's your secret? How how are you able to then withstand the barrage of accusation and this and that, and still stand tall, calm and equanimous? It is because of that gratitude, a subtle way of let me read again, a subtle way of thinking or feeling about something, of what you perceive through your eyes, your ears, your nose, your taste, or your touch. It is that allows you to see something that inspire you, a vision That vision once arises and you mingle with it, accept it, contemplate it, bring up motivation. I want to be like that. Maybe that's the goal that I want to have. Maybe that's the person that I want to be. Motivate you. In the beginning, like we talked about yesterday, the energy of the thought and emotion towards that, the energy toward that thought and emotion might not be strong enough for you to um, take on the project of self-development or doing something. But as you contemplate on the vision, on the vision, on the thing that inspire you again and again, it build that motivation up because you see the outcome, you see the result, you see the benefit, you see the reward, and that over time, as you contemplate more and more and more, forces you have enough energy to push you toward maybe I want to do something about it. Maybe I want to research more. Maybe I want to go to a monastery to learn about ways to be like that man or that woman. You find yourself putting yourself in a program, in a self-development program that you will keep on moving forward as long as the vision is clear, as long as you know what you're doing and and how you're gonna go about it and the envision. Because those are the things that keep you motivated, moving forward, despite the challenges, despite the pain. Even if you face problem, if you motivate enough, you will take the problem and ask someone who knows the answer to instead of quitting. If you are stuck on something because you have an obstacle in front of you and you're still motivated to get to the end point, you will not quit but rather ask someone for help because the motivation, the end goal is strong enough to say, hey, I'm not quitting this. I'm gonna push forward. It just so happened that there's something in front of me. It can be a problem that I can't solve or obstacle that I can't overcome. That is there. But there are resources that help me overcome them. So I will not quit. And as you go through it, you find yourself reaping out the benefit. This is where instinct and the attitude that come from instinct is so important. We can look at attitude, again, a subtle way of thinking or feeling about something, like an impression too. Remember, I do repeat it many times, all thought is not your own. If you take the time to prove it throughout the day, and even those things, those attitude, those impression, it arises by itself. But it does, but the weight of it is significant because it can make or break your life. If you are under the influence, have the right attitude with the good nature inside of you, you can seize any opportunity and find yourself bringing and value and benefit to yourself, changing life like you wanted to, and able to reap the reward of it. But if you always accept uh, a bad way of thinking or feeling about something, and you have settled with it, meaning accepting the bad and negative thought and emotion that arises by itself from bad instinct, then you bar yourself from moving forward and bring about positive change and reward that comes from it. So uh, now that we know about the overview, we can then take this knowledge and then ask ourselves, what do we want in our life? What program do we want to put ourselves in? What kind of result do we want? We can think of that first. If we don't have a righteous intention, no worries. Think of goal first, the outcome. What do you like? What do you want? What do you want to attain? It doesn't have to be a lofty goal, but a goal is a good thing because a goal prompts you to remember a goal is a vision at the end. A goal that, as long as meaningful to you enough, it can then invoke a sense of motivation of some sort to push you forward, not from the thought and feeling towards that vision. bring up energy once again, push you forward toward doing something about it. Mhm. If now that you have a goal, let's say you already have a goal, you already put yourself through a program of self-development of some sort. It can be wanting to change your bad habit. It can be wanting to meditate more. It can be wanting to uh, uh, go to a temple more than doing something else. Now, whatever it might be that you find that, you know what, this is what I'm working on my project. But man, it is just a uphill battle, meaning there's no thing pushing it, lacking motivation or lacking strength. To fix that, we have to then look back at what brings our motivation. Of course, inspiration or vision of it. The wisdom, the knowledge, the information, the reason why, uh, mm, what put you on this path to begin with. And that's why yesterday we talked about not forgetting about the flavor of agony and suffering, because those are wonderful tools. Many people would have a wrong way to a negative experience. But a wise person would say that everything is a tool if you have the right view towards it or right attitude towards it. Now, the flavor of pain and agony is a wonderful tool to remind you of a lofty goal that we once have before our life is nice and easy. A lofty goal that, you know, a lofty goal that able to help you even when everything are at odds against you. The question is it easier right now or back then when you're suffering to meditate? In theory, we should say, my life, I'm in agony, I'm in pain all the time. It should be more difficult. But why is it that people find that they have utmost motivation in those downtime at those lowest moments? It's because their goal is crystal clear. The vision, the goal, desire, out to be liberated from suffering, the one of the life without pain is so strong. You see this inspiration, motive that bring about inspiration from the vision that bring about motivation. Now we are fortunate that we no longer feel pain. Not for some of us, or some less even lesser pain, but we can still take back what helped us in the past and use it right now. Mm. They are saying too, not in the world around us, say that hey, don't forget who you are, don't forget where you came from. Not to say that you should go back to where you came from, but I'm saying to say, hey, don't forget your humble beginning. Don't forget that when you're young, your family is not that rich, not that privileged. Now you have to, you know, live day to day, starve sometime, don't get the nice toy that you want sometimes. Don't forget that, because that tool can be used for you to be more generous, more understanding. Don't take things for granted. There are these sort of things that exist all around us. And these things are dhamma or tools that we can use. Mm. Thought and emotion is very the most powerful thing that we can have. But we forget that these most powerful thing that we can use and have arise by itself. And that there are three kinds of thought and emotion: bad one, good one, and good and bad one. But they are so powerful, can change our life, and can push us toward finding success, fulfillment, happiness, can push us towards unfulfillment, or even worse, can push us toward disappointment. So just by knowing that thought is on our own, knowing that we have to be mindful throughout the day of the thought and emotion that push us toward a particular action, already allows you to stop and make a decision for ourselves of what to do in accordance with the goal that we have. His karma, karma is a concept that we shouldn't alienate because there are many inspiring stories that talks about karma but in a different language. Karma is just cause and effect. What happened before doesn't what happened, what have you done before have a effect, some uh that have effect in the near or this uh in the future one way or the other. And we talk about karma of people who are unfortunate. You see the guy who find himself being an alcoholic, flunking from school, doing everything that he should have failed. He should have found only misery in life. Now we can say that's karma. Nah, he did all of that. He should have, you know, his life shouldn't be well off. But despite that, a guy realizing his fault, realizing that he flung out of school, become a degenerate, doing all this negative thing, he say, you know what? I might have to live the consequence, or actually, I'm living out right now. But man, I do have a goal, a lofty goal, to be a changed man, a new person, despite my karma, despite what I've done. And the guy worked his day with that inspiration, that vision, that motivates him day and night, day and night. These success stories we heard it before, despite the karma. Does it have to live out the outcome? Absolutely, yes. He's living it right now. But it is the wisdom. It is the good instinct that brings up the vision and say, hey, you deserve better life. Good attitude toward himself, toward life around him. Because if he had bad attitude, he would rather end it all. Maybe. Life is so already at the gutter for him. Why should he live forward? But no, another good instinct say, hey, don't give up yet. Life can be good. See a subtle way of thinking about something. A good way about it. And despite everything else, he keep on pushing forward. Motivation day after day after day, despite everything. And then what happened? Success stories like this say that it takes him months and years, but at the end, he get what he deserves. He is living out his new karma from the years of never giving up, pushing, pushing, pushing. Those are his karma that now he become a man with a wife and child at a good place, good neighborhood, good everything. That is his karma is living. The karma that he's done when things are tough. The karma that he's done when the bad karma is taking effect. All thanks to the good attitude or the good instinct that helps him point, rather than the bad attitude of the bad instinct. And not something to throw away or to talk about lightly, the attitude. But we all might not, you know, have a weight of it yet. But for those people that go on TED Talk and this and that, for them now they have to praise attitude as number one. Why is that? Nah, If if these people attribute their success to attitude, it means that there must be something behind it. But for us who hear it and doesn't know the weight, the bad instinct might say, "Oh, I learned about attitude for what? Okay, help me." Faulting the teaching that it doesn't work rather than forcing oneself that doesn't give the teaching the right respect and approach that it deserves because it is a tool and that tool, every tool have a purpose and every tool works under Buddhism or otherwise. Uh, Attitude From a thought and emotion is not our own. That's it. From instinct once again. But man, does it change people's life from the for the better or for the worse too. Now one day have battle toward everything. Your life will surely go to the gutters. From is it from your own thought? Really? Is that one day you make a conscious decision that I'm gonna always bring up negative thought and make an effort to do so? Not really. That's not how people do bad attitude. Now, but a thought came up, emotion comes up, emotion that is not, not like a blank emotion, but emotion with a story behind it. Those are thought behind emotion. Yeah, and that's it. This is the weight of instinct. This is the weight of thought and emotion. This is the weight of the fact that this thought and emotion arises by itself, but we eat them all up anyway. So now that we know, it depends. Do this is a tool. Knowledge is a tool. Do you want to use it? Are you a type of people that want change in their life? If so, then change can only happen when you decide to do something different. That decision comes when you can choose. And you can choose when you stop to accept everything that comes up. Because our thought is on our own, that's why we stop. Stop and stop. Stop and still. And listen. Just like when we meditate, we listen and see a thought comes up and goes away. But when we open our eyes, we forgot. All of it we forget and live our life the same. Mm. Thought and emotion, okay? Now both of this. Now this is one more teaching, one more class to have support. Uh, because in the past I have failed to give plenty of example for you guys to see the importance. Uh, I fortunately have the privilege to talk about this many times, so and reflect upon this because it's like the quote unquote job. But hopefully, I can provide more and more um, of these sort of example to help you guys understand the weight of what we're teaching. Uh, but it's only like a tool, only for people who wants to think a change in their life and the outcome or reward that they seek. All right. So
Can you do a
summary?
summary?
Okay. So I'm going to do the summary now. All right. Summary.
Would you like just give a plan to like, okay, what do I need to do? I want to change my life. A, B, C.
Okay. I want to change my life. That's a number one. How to begin. Mm. You know, I done this funny experiment I kid before. I I point out the bad thing in his toy. He have a nice toy that he love. It is cool though. But anyway, to my brother. So I think it's not right, but yeah. What I did was I think to myself too is that when I bring up my favorite toy, my dad would then point out to the imperfection in my toy. Uh, unlike other boys, I don't have figurine, but not figurine. I do have more like a feminine toy than than most. But I do see the that the toy is not soft enough, like a plushie or something like that, or there's like a tear somewhere. Like maybe the tail's coming off, and certainly from that imperfection, by seeing the imperfection, from loving the toy, and now then the love then began to dwindle down, and the desire for something new now began. And so that's why the Buddha have to then point to people the imperfection of their current life now, or at least if they find difficult, then talk about the truth that one day the bad thing in life will be bound to happen again, one way or the other. just like how it happened in the past. Might be light, might be the same, might be heavier, we don't know. But to know of that reality too, and to know that those are time bombs that await us sometime down the line, that surely is coming one way or the other. Huh? Tells our preparation about it. Make us remember the kind of life we want to have, the kind of freedom that we want to have from this pain. And that alone not take precedent, despite how fancy our life is right now. Because all this fanciness is no use when we are in pain. Imagine being depressed in a $1 million mansion. Many people would laugh at that, those who find it sinister. No, but when we think about it, $1 million mansion is not that then we have to then find something that does so, not to help us not to get back to there, or else then it will be back to square one, same place that we were before. Now, when we see that as a goal, now no matter what you use, what technique you use to have a goal, then you start to see, hey, I need to put myself in like a some sort of program or like a routine or you know self-development program for that purpose. Now, what you need are strength, the push, because we know that the journey toward that end goal, it's not gonna be easy. Gonna fill with problem, obstacle, pushback, hardship. Uh, from what? From the bad instinct inside, from the pollution that now manifests in bad habits, manifests in strong desire, strong temptation, strong urges that we build up throughout. Not build up because we accept them throughout our life. Now it become uh, tangible, strong. Not only that, but we ain't that wise on are not that wise, that capable too. So these are all the things that we see between us and the desired outcome. So to push us toward a action, motivation or strength need come first. That's why people stick to their goal, repeat their goal, repeat the vision that they see, repeat the vision, because that is a source of their goal. And those vision stand on one important thing. It's called attitude. Your attitude toward life. If one day you are to change, you say, you know what, maybe I don't want to go there anymore. Life is okay now. Instead of seeing, having the right attitude of moving forward, we say that, not gonna matter, it's fine. Just that alone destroy your inspiration, destroy your motivation, destroy your program, destroy the reward that you will receive in the future. Just by attitude alone. An attitude means a settled way of thinking or feeling of something. A settled way of accepting, meaning accepting of thought and emotion. And we know that thought emotion are not our own. Thought and emotion are not our own, but from the instinct inside of us. So now when we trace it back all the way back to the very root at it, we see that we see the same usual uh, three three corporate good, bad, not gonna bad. It reminds me of like a Harry Potter scene where Harry, Hermione, and what's the other and
Run.
Ron, in the principal office, the same three trio. Nice. When you go back and we see the same. So this is the summary. So gratitude is just your way of accepting the narrative, the thought, the emotion comes up, and you settle with it because you accept them, you find peace in them. So don't settle in the thing that we should have settled in. It have huge implication, strong impact onto us. All right.
Wait, feedback.
All right. So anyone have any question or feedback?
At least like one person would be really nice.
Or at least any one person would be nice so that we can improve. Or have any question that we can bounce off?
Okay, if I have to. um, so then, I'm listening to talk about attitude. And I guess I wanted to just kind of ask, I guess it's like a bit of a chicken and the egg kind of thing, would you say there's only three attitudes because they mirror the three instincts, right? Like, is because I can understand that the attitude that you have will color your perception, right? And so we can both be looking, or even like on two different days, I can look at the same object and, be content one day and like disgusted the next day, like my attitude has kind of shifted. And so I guess, would you say that attitude comes first and then like it's that allows you to kind of tap into an instinct, or the instinct comes first, which allows you to kind of like adopt that attitude? You know what I mean? It's like, do I have to shift into the good system first and then that gives me the proper attitude, or is it I choose to have a positive attitude and then that shifts me into the good system?
That's a very, very good question. Very well articulated. That's a very good one. We find ourselves in both scenarios. In times where we are already, in a like living our life in a good attitude, like you have a good mood in a good way. The good attitude then is a byproduct of it, because you are like, let's say, for example, a person who's already in a good system, or in a good mood, in a good thought, like a monk, for example, we can take them. We find that as they already maintain in that kind of course, in that like umbrella, when they come across different situation, they always have a good attitude towards it. Because it's now umbrella by it. So this is the right answer, that good system or good thing come first for the attitude. Because, but then what about the second scenario then, where bad attitude come up? This is where you then recognize that, hey, the umbrella, that the hat that we're wearing, basically the hat that we're wearing is now with the bad. Because if we are in the right kind of like team, then we shouldn't have this kind of thought, or this kind of shouldn't be part of it. So therefore, when we recognize that, we say, hey, we should now abandon this hat and put in the right hat. What would be the right thing to attitude or view or perspective in this situation? So meaning you have to then put yourself, many people have to put themselves in a good mood first, or put it in find themselves in a good system first. Starting from being aware of themselves first. How to be aware of themselves so that these good, so that they can have a nice attitude towards it. So the answer is, attitude is a byproduct of instinct. So one have to be with a good instinct first. But it doesn't mean that it is doesn't mean that you don't have a choice. Because if you realize that you have a bad attitude and recognize, hey, this is not right, this is the thought and emotion of bad instinct, then you can choose to either accept that and run with it, or then take off the cap and bring in and wear the correct one. Did I answer your question, Tom?
Yes, thank you, Jim.
Thank you for that question. That was very, very good one, actually.